How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the former Overstock.com CEO, Patrick Byrne, talking about how the deep state recruited him in an attempt to interfere with the 2016 election to derail the campaigns of not only Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, but also Hillary Clinton. Now, there is a lot to quote-unquote unpack here, as the cool kids would say, but first, let's get into the clip. In this clip, you'll see him talking, you'll see how he's behaving and everything else. You'll see what he says. After we get done with that, I'll analyze what he said, give you my full 2 cents, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Here's the main event. In 2015-16, I took some requests from the FBI, and it's the only time I want to say that. It's Men in Black. Because they're not the bad guys here. You'll understand they're not the problem here. They passed a request to me from someone up above to do some stuff for about 2015, 2016. I never know who it was. Last summer, watching television, watching Congress rip apart some people, I put some details together and I figured out who had sent me the request. The man's name was Peter Strzok.
How do you know that?
Does that mean anything? Oh, it's already been confirmed to me. It's already been confirmed they came from Peter Strzok.
By whom?
More recent. By federal authorities.
Because we haven't heard anything from the government yet.
Chris, I'm not in the kindergarten business. If we're in the kindergarten business, if I'm here trying to convince you guys this happened, that's not the business. I'm not in the convincing business. I'm in the business of Warren Buffett told me I have to come forward. He said, you let the feds do their work. You have to come forward with what you know to the American people. So I'm coming forward. Okay. I'm not in the convincing business. I'm in the, I will do everyone a favor, open the door and let you know what happened business if you want. I'd be happy to do that.
Go ahead. What did they want you to do?
There were, the main event is this. So first of all, your guy, somebody had it wrong here. It isn't that I was dating Maria Butina and then they came to me and asked me to do anything. It's that I met her. Maria Butina is not the main event here. Let me give you the main event here. I was involved in helping them in that period in what I thought was law enforcement. And it turned out to be political espionage conducted against Hillary Clinton, minor Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz, major Donald Trump. Primarily a political espionage against Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. This isn't a theory of mine. It's not. I was in the room when it happened. I was part of it. Right, there's this Russia, this gal Maria, oh my gosh, highest national priority. And they said, and the very honorable men and women, the Men in Black, they said, we want to be clear. This never happens in the United States. We are the good guys. Oh, we don't work like the bad guys, but we need to ask you to rekindle a romantic relationship with Maria Butina. And
members of the FBI that you're sure were members of the FBI asked you to do this. And you know their names.
And I know their names, and they said these orders are coming from the personal, this is being personally supervised by Y, and it's being and at the request of X, and then 2 months later they said Mr. Z has added his name to the
All right, now you're giving them anonymity now, but I heard you say on Fox, if you go put a camera in Jim Comey's face and say the name Patrick Byrne, you're not going to like the reaction it gets.
That's the Z. That's Mr. Z.
So you believe that Jim Comey knew that you were being asked to do these things in the name of the United States government?
Not only knew, I was specifically told this request is coming from Jim Comey at the request of somebody who I'm not going to name. Do not assume it's the president. Do not assume it was the President Obama. Do not assume that. That came out, absolutely. It was out of federal agents' lips, and this is all this stuff. This is all been.
And you have their names?
Oh, yeah, this was all done. This is the kindergarten stuff.
Because I got to believe that when they respond, they're going to say, we like Patrick Byrne. You know, he was good at business, but this story is 100% fugazi.
No, they're not even going to do that. I promise you they're going to no comment. They will not come out and deny this. They know there's too much. If they come out and deny this, there's...
You have anything in writing?
Listen, this is the silly part.
It's not that silly, Patrick. I mean, this story is so wild that you got to have some proof.
Chris, I'm light years beyond all the world you're talking about. This was all fed into the DOJ on April 5th and April 30th.
Okay, so you saw that, you heard that, and like I said, there's a lot to go through. I'm not really sure where to begin. Let's start from the beginning as far as my thoughts are concerned. An obvious thing throughout this entire piece was how he was behaving. He had erratic behavior and kind of just strange movements. One thing about these guys that are really high up in the food chain, CEOs, big wig executives of corporations and guys like that, heads of state, sometimes they behave like that. It is what it is. It's not really anything that is too extraordinary. That's kind of par for the course. I mean, he may behave erratically, but when it comes to him actually doing business, his business mind may be that which the company needed, which is why he was in that position. I'm not sure if he was the founder of Overstock or if he was an employee of the shareholders. Either way it goes, for you to be that high up in the food chain in the company, you got to be an intelligent individual. So his behavior, in my opinion, was not necessarily anything too odd to get in the way of taking the story seriously. The second thing is, I like how he was talking to Chris Cuomo, not because he just shut him down and said, hey, come on, kindergarten stuff. That was a good moment, but also when he said, hey, I'm so far beyond what we're talking about, like I'm not even right there anymore. Okay, that kind of set the tone for me, although it's towards the end, and kind of set the tone for the entire talk. It's like, look, man, I'm coming to you from a level way up here. I came down from my ivory tower to talk to just a regular individual. That's what it seems like. Now, some may look at it as condescending, but he's just being honest. He's not trying to disrespect the man. He's just saying, look, this is what it is. This ain't just a regular debate. I'm not just a regular pundit coming on television and have this little back and forth exchange with you. I'm not even really into that. I'm here just telling the story about what happened. The third thing is that he actually stepped down from Overstock. Now, I'm not sure how much he was making as Overstock CEO. I'm sure it was in the millions. If not, it had to be close to it. You're talking about a major company. So for Patrick Byrne to step down from Overstock lets me know that what he's saying is most likely accurate, and he knew that the company would take a lot of hits for his statements, and he doesn't want to back down. So he stepped down from the company, probably lost millions to come out and say what he's saying. So I take it seriously. But beyond that, let's get to the actual meat of what he was saying, how the deep state recruited him to impact the election, to interfere with the election. I believe what he said 100%. Now, could he be telling a lie? That's possible. Am I being fooled? That's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but right now, based upon what he did to say what he said and how he said it, the method and manner, to me, it just makes sense, and I tend to believe him. But he's saying that he was with this Russian girl and they had a relationship, and then the deep state came and said, hey, spark that back up because we made a mistake with Trump, this, that, and the third. We need you to get involved. I believe it. He said Peter Strzok was involved. It kind of came out that James Comey may have been involved as well. I mean, we've already seen Peter Strzok lie. We've seen documents. We've seen the text between him and Lisa Page. We see what's going on there. This guy's a philanderer. This guy's a liar. This guy was never Trumper. So I would not be surprised if he was to do something like this to reach out to Patrick Byrne to interfere with the election. Okay. Now, the question is, who are above their heads? Because it's been described that Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, all these individuals, even James Comey, they're kind of like the lackeys. They're just the errand boys doing whatever higher-ups are saying. So who are the higher-ups? I'm not really sure. He was saying certain names like Peter Strzok, but he didn't want to say the higher-ups. And when you are that high of a position like the CEO or former CEO of Overstock and you don't want to say certain names, it lets me know that it's pretty serious and that he could really be endangering not only his life, but the life of his family. We've seen people get suicided. We've already seen that. We've seen Jeffrey Epstein die talking about, oh, he's 6 foot tall, but he hung himself from the top of a bunk bed in the penitentiary while he was on suicide watch with cameras. I mean, like, it doesn't make any sense. Oh, he was removed from suicide watch before he died. Come on. That whole thing doesn't make any sense. Most of us in this country, maybe even the entire world, believe that there was some foul play involved. And it's not just Jeffrey Epstein, there's many other individuals. So Patrick Byrne, in our humble opinion, or at least my humble opinion, is right in the crossfire potentially of something bad happening to him because of what he's coming out and saying. The deep state does exist. when Trump says, the deep state, the swamp, this, that, and the third, some don't take it seriously. They're like, oh, you floating conspiracy theories. These are wild allegations. You just don't want to talk about your own particular failures and your quote unquote racism and this, that, and the third. But the truth is that we have some serious issues, okay? You got guys in the FBI that have proven to be dirty. Peter Strzok was proven to be dirty, talking about, oh, well, we got to have a plan B, or we got to have some insurance policy on Donald Trump. We've already seen that. We've seen James Comey go on television, on TV, in front of the whole world and say that Hillary Clinton was corrupt, that Hillary Clinton should possibly be indicted, or she should maybe even be in jail. Not his words, but I'm paraphrasing. But we can't actually go forward with any kind of trial, with any kind of, no real case against her. Okay, we've seen that happen. That's clear corruption going on. And we've seen your Slick Willie and your Hillary Clinton operate all throughout the years, all the way from the governor of Arkansas. We've seen the consistent pattern with them, people dying mysteriously around them. We've seen so many things from these individuals in the deep state, out of the deep state, faces you see, faces you don't see, that, in my opinion, what Patrick Byrne said is most likely the case. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. So what do you think? Do you think that Patrick Byrne was telling the truth? Was he being dishonest? How do you feel about his behavior? Was it distracting? Was it not distracting? Do you think that what Mr. Byrne said here confirms what many of us have been talking about for a long time as it relates to the deep state? Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.